From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
we're getting started with a local company with a fiery focus. We mark Women's History Month by highlighting the work of another woman-owned business. And we look at dentistry from the perspective of a small practice in a field of corporate giants.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, Grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now you can also share a cart with Instacart Family Carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or whether you should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart, and then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Up first, we're getting started with a local company with a fiery focus, and it's on a hot streak.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
Rose Emily Geyer is the CEO of Geyer fire protection provider that's been named the Certified Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprise Vendor of the Month for March.
Congratulations, continued success. This is recognizing Geyer Fire as our XBE Business of the Month for the month of March.
Today I was honored to be awarded the Vendor of the Month for March. There's definitely some opportunity that's carried with that. One, they've done a great job, like publicity-wise, right? Getting the word out, learning, sending words through Twitter, through their social media outlets. That's stuff that we definitely want to take advantage of, right? As a small business, taking advantage of some of that marketing. So that does have some opportunity that's associated with that. But just in essence, also just being recognized by them, right? Always being top of mind somewhere is definitely always an opportunity to be thought of.
I certainly think that this acknowledgement and recognition should also be interpreted as our effort to encourage other XBEs to register with OMWBD, which provides opportunity for businesses throughout the city to grow that happen to be women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, or disabled-owned businesses. And it helps create a network of diversity in the Indianapolis business community.
Back in 2011, I co-founded this business with other family members after having been in public accounting for about 10 years. Having seen entrepreneurial businesses at EY for many years, I knew that at some point there would be an opportunity for me to do something, and the opportunity came up with fire protection. So that started in 2011, and the real key there was getting involved and networking, because the fact is I really didn't know much about, fire sprinklers at the time, but I was open to learning, and I've always been a studious person, always constantly wanting to learn and curious about things. And so that's really what led to developing this and then getting involved and just getting out there in the community and in the construction world. Probably some of the biggest items and takeaways that I've learned throughout this has really been persistence. Where I was at before, I carried a name of recognition with an employer, right? You walked into a room, you had that recognition. Coming into your own business, you don't carry that same brand, right? You don't carry that recognition. And so you could walk in, your competitors may be better known. And so at times that can be disappointing, but if you continue and you keep building your brand and you keep building yourself and making a path, that begins to change, right? And so I would say persistence in terms of knowing that marketing and getting out there is going to lead to some opening of doors. Many times, again, there have been long established relationships with customers and they're not wanting to change, right? but persistence with that, eventually there will be some of those changes, because eventually you'll be the one in that seat where a customer doesn't want to change. So persistence to me has probably been the biggest thing, along with allowing yourself to know that you can't control everything that's going to come your way, right? That's a hard thing, especially when you're used to being in control. There will be times where contracts go south or other business deals may not go as planned that are going to throw a wrench, and it's easy to say, you're done. But the fact is, if you just stay the path, you stay the course, and understand that you will not be able to control everything, that's a huge lesson, I think, that I've learned over the past couple of years. I think doing business in Indiana is simple compared to other jurisdictions. So we actually have locations outside of Indiana. So I can easily compare what that's like compared to Indiana. One, regulation in Indiana is so much easier and simple for a business owner to understand, much more straightforward for you. Second, there's opportunities the building, right? Just within what the city is putting out there. Projects such as like an IU Health, the hospitals that are going up. But that's not just here in the city, right? That's throughout the state. Those types of opportunities are coming up, and they're definitely putting in a lot of effort to bring in XBE companies into those opportunities and making it work for you, right? Because it's not always reasonable or feasible to say that you're going to take on a large segment of a project, but they're working with you and teaming, and even our competitors are coming to us and saying, hey, let's find ways to team together, right? So it's also a friendly, competitive nature among some of the other fire protection companies. So there's a ton of opportunity. You just don't have all the capacity to take it all. I mean, we are turning down opportunities at this point for capacity reasons.
Today we look at a locally based, woman-owned business that offers IT solutions on a global scale.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, running your business day to day.
Rupal Thanawala is CEO of Trident Systems.
Trident Systems started 20 years back, and we are global business strategy and digital transformation systems integrator. I know it is a mouthful, but basically we are an IT consulting firm, and we specialize in implementing solutions for our clients in the space of SAP. SAP is an enterprise resource planning tool. Basically, large corporations, think about large companies like Lilly, Allison Transmission, Corteva, Roche. Their entire organization is being supported by SAP. So starting from their finance, HR, manufacturing, quality, sales, distribution, everything is run by just one software. And we provide those services. However, we have one more specialization. Within that SAP services that we provide some of the very niche consulting services, which is called e-invoicing. Many countries outside US, of course, government has a specific requirement that every time when they send an invoice to their customer, government has to first approve it. They send it back to the companies, and that is their official invoice. Now, probably 25 countries have these requirements, but they all have their own flavors. So we help them customize those solutions and make sure that the companies are compliant to do the business, and we solve their problems. I think in a nutshell, if you ask me, we are problem solvers. So for us, how it worked out is, of course, SAP is mostly implemented in multinational companies. That means they have their operations all over the world, and we wanted to make sure that we are able to solve their problems and implement the solutions for their regional operations. So understand where your clients' needs are. Secondly, we recruit locally also, because when you want to work in a global environment, you have to understand their local requirements, because every country have different requirements. Also have individuals who speak local language, because that's very critical. And the third and the most important thing is, how do you tie back the solution that you're implementing back to the headquartered company, which is based in US or in Indiana in that case. So talent becomes one of the critical factor in this one. And having the network that we have has really helped us to find individuals who are talented in those regions. So when we started the business, and a small women-owned business, we had a challenge of capital. And only 2.5% VC funds, only 2.5% women-owned businesses. So we had to do everything on a bootstrap. We couldn't grow as where we are right now because we had to make sure that everything was done by friends and family's money. And we didn't have even that much support from everybody. So we had to start small. So that's the first thing. So that was the very first challenge. Secondly, again, running an IT consulting firm. And this tech is still very much male-dominated industry. So they don't think that you have credibility. So I think credibility was another challenge. I have walked into the rooms and people thought, oh, you are not the president. So I think that is still, I think things are changing, but I have been doing it for 20 plus years, and that's my journey. And initially I used to feel that way, that, oh, you do not belong here, you know. The most exciting thing about my business is, I am solving some of the most critical and pressing problems of my clients. I'm an engineer, so solving problem really excites me. And working with different corporations and listening to them and understanding that, oh my gosh, this is how I can make your life better is really exciting for me.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. Time for our industry focus. Modern dentistry can be a big business. Increasingly, the field features dentists as hired hands in a huge corporation franchise model. But there are still independent dentists, small business owners out there working under their own shingle.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
Dr. Kyle Ratliff is the lone dentist practicing at Transformative Family Dentistry in Indianapolis. How does his practice compare to the giant corporate dentistry franchises?
So Transformative Family Dentistry started August 2022. Previously, it was owned by a doctor who retired, and I took over his practice. So the ability to make it my own. Kind of my business model or structure is patient convenience. So again, being able to address the patient and get them in, because we are in a consumer's market. So we do block off periods in our schedule to be able to see same-day patients, to convert same-day, because we really understand, again, our economy and the importance of one-stop patient visits, able to purchase a practice. But a lot of us, what we're doing is SBA, small business loans. And so that's the route that I went to acquire my practice. I found it to navigate that, especially not having a lot of business knowledge, a little bit difficult, but that's the importance of forming or creating a team that will help you and walk you through. So of course I had to get real estate commercial brokers and also consultants to feed me knowledge to help me propel me into my future. So corporate dentistry is very big in dentistry. So they're buying or taking over private practices. So they're under the umbrella of a smaller practice, but they're actually owned by bigger corporations. And so for me, being a private practice owner, it kind of, the purchasing power and things of that nature is a little bit intimidating for us because we don't have that large group. I definitely don't have anyone that is mandating or dictating what I do. When I'm able to bring a patient in and treatment plan them based off of what they actually need, and actually take my time with my patients, build that rapport with them, and then walk them through what we need to do to make their smile healthy again. During COVID, we weren't even allowed to do your standard hygiene visits. We only could do emergencies. Again, the fear of the aerosols. So at that time, we really didn't know how COVID-19 spread. So again, coming back to the dentist, we saw a lot of hesitancy of patients being afraid to get their dental work done, even for normal healthy cleanings. And so being able to meet patients on their level, address their fears. But again, the biggest thing is to be able to walk them through what's going on and what's happening. Again, fear and anxiety is a lot that happens in dentistry, and I found that whatever I can do as a provider, but majority of it is just listening to your patients. The field of dentistry with technology is vast. fast and it's growing. So if you're stagnated in one area, you're not going to grow. And so that's one thing that I really take heed to, and what I find really important is to continue my continuing education courses, learning new techniques and procedures. Here in our office, we do have a lot of new technologies, again, and I found that also helps the patient. So we have intraoral cameras, scanners, just to be able to diagnose, and that also educates the patient, because I'm a visual learner. If I can see it, well then it makes more sense to me, and that also translates to the patients as well. And we also have better outcomes and predictability with that. I just went to a dental conference in Chicago last week, and one thing that's happening is artificial intelligence. So the use of robotics to help with diagnosing, and we have, again, better outcomes, but to have a robot pinpoint cavities to you and show the percentage of that, I think that's what we're going toward in dentistry. And that's the craziness of technology. When I get up in the morning, you know, I say a little mental prayer, and it's just, I just want to give my all. With starting a business, this is kind of like my baby or my child. It's my legacy. So what do I want to be remembered as? Definitely I want to be remembered as a pillar in my community, that I served my community and I served them well. And that's what gives me joy.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, beoshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV, or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.